Hello, it's Dawn Michelle and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a spooky season inspired one-shot reading. So in case you are new to this series, let me quickly go over the idea. So this term is borrowed from the D&D community where a one-shot is a self-contained game designed to be played in a single session. So with that in mind, my one-shot readings are those that are completely independent and stand apart from my normal practices. Most of the time I just grab some decks and see what happens, and that is totally what we're going to do today. So when I was doing my Playing with Pairs Spooky Season edition, I came across a little pairing with the Zombie Tarot and the Between the Worlds that I wanted to explore a little bit more, and I thought that might be perfect to do here in a one-shot reading, which is, again, as I mentioned, a reading that really just is just for fun in the moment to get a message here and now and to play with some decks. So I've added to that my conjure cards, and we will see as we go if I end up pulling anything else in, because this one-shot readings for me, I do not follow a spread. I do not have anything in particular in mind. I don't have a particular question in mind or anything like that. These are really just intuitive, in the moment, on the fly style readings. So I'm going to start with, I moved these, but I'm going to start with the Between the Worlds. Is that the name? Yes. I always want to say it's the Beyond the Worlds, but it's Between. So this is a little pocket size oracle deck that I have modified. As you can see, I've edged it, but I've also, as I've shown many times before, stamped the keywords on it because I didn't know what half the things were. So it has bones and doll parts is primarily what would throw me. I think that they're really cool, but they didn't have any real meaning for me. So I just went and stamped all the keywords on, which I found in the guidebook, and there's light and shadow, and we're gonna work that into the reading today. So I'm gonna give that one a shuffle. We also, I'm going to use the Zombie Tarot, which, as I've mentioned, is like a favorite deck in my collection. I'm gonna give each of these a nice little shuffle. And then I'll usually overhand a little bit before we pull cards, but I'm just gonna get everything ready for the reading. Gonna run out of space here. And conjure cards. So these are like playing cards with I think it has a particular layer, a particular structure or system to it. I haven't done a ton of work with the conjure cards. I worked a lot with them, I think around this time last year. So maybe this might be the type of deck for me that is a darker half, but more towards the end of the year, like spooky season deck, right? But I have been enjoying working with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I am gonna pull, to start with, a Between the Worlds, because what I noticed when I was doing the Playing with Pairs was that the keywords make for sort of wonderful kind of like spread positions, even though I just said I don't use spread positions. But like if I want to make up spread positions with the cards along the way, like that's totally cool. I just don't start with a spread in mind. You can totally like use a spread and just do it and go and call it a one shot, and that's great. But I don't tend to use spreads. Sometimes I will use my cards and then sort of create spreads with them. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull a card. And we got the Wishbone with Fulfillment and Longing. So that is going to be the focus of my reading, Wishbone, which I kind of know what Wishbone means. Like I know what it means to me, but I probably will get into the guidebook for this just so I can expand upon that a little bit more and to just make this reading, you know, a little bit richer, a little bit deeper. These aren't designed to be super like in-depth, intense readings. They're more designed to be fun, to give me an opportunity to play with my cards, to get a message along the way as well. But I do like to incorporate, you know, a little bit of depth in there. Like this is a real reading. I've mentioned it many times. I do not know how people can do like pretend readings or practice readings or sample readings. Like my cards will always call me out whenever I do a reading on camera. It's never going to be pretend. It's never going to be a sample reading. So I just like, I'm not even going to pretend to tell you that it is, because it's going to be a real reading. It always is. So that's okay. Like I share my journal. I'm cool with sharing my readings. All right. So what I'm going to do is I've got Wishbone. That's my sort of central focus. So now I'm going to pull a card for Fulfillment and Longing, and I'm not going to give them like, I'm not going to say fulfillment's over here and longing's over here. I'm going to wait and see what comes up. and then we'll see what they are speaking to. So I felt like I had to shuffle them some more. All right, let's pull 2 cards. So we got the Ten of Swords and the Star. Okay, so I definitely feel like the kind of fulfillment is maybe, ooh, what do I feel? I said that and the minute it came out of my mouth, I like instinctually, intuitively, whatever you want to call it, was like, nope, that's wrong. So I was gonna say this is the fulfillment card, but I don't think it is. I think this is the longing. The Ten of Swords is the longing, and I think the fulfillment is the Star, because I think the Star, what the Star means to me on a personal level, like that idea of like hope and that following your true path, like that's where the fulfillment lies. And the longing over here in this Ten of Swords, sorry, I'm just going ahead and getting into the interpretation, even though we're totally not done with the reading. It feels like the longing is like trying to do all the things, like just trying to do all the things all the time, which is totally me. We might pull more tarot. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to start with this and see where it goes. I want to pull a conjure card. We might need to, you know, move some of the pretty decorative stuff around to make some space depending on how this reading goes. So I'm feeling like I'm going to pull a conjure card beneath here because I have a hole and I always want to fill it. Y'all, that sounded really bad. We'll just pretend I didn't say that. I could edit it out, but I probably won't. All right, let's see what our conjure cards have to say. So we got the Three of Diamonds, and that looks to be like a quill. So I'm definitely gonna have to get into the little guidebook for the conjure cards because I'm not that familiar with the system yet and the structure. So I'm gonna actually, normally I wait to the end, but I think this particular read I'm gonna kind of dissect as I go, just because I'm feeling like I'm a little bit unsure where this reading is go, and I'm a little bit unsure if I need more cards or not to flesh out this reading. So I kind of need to really have a good understanding of what's currently on the table. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Between the Worlds book. And I'm just gonna read what it says real quickly about Wishbone. And you know, now that I put this here, I'm not feeling it. Does that make sense? I'm feeling something else, but we're gonna roll with it. And this is how a one-shot reading goes for me. Like, if I wanna move cards around, I do. Because there's a reason for it. There's a reason I wanna move it around. I may not know it on a, you know, on the surface level, but like intuitively or something, I know why I need to. So I might end up doing that. But we're gonna see what Wishbone has to say first. I like to just kind of skip to the message here for these because there's quite a bit of writing in this book. It's great. It's got like journaling prompts and stuff like that. But just to kind of get the essence of the card, I tend to just kind of go for the message. It says, when considering equity, we can look to individual as well as communal needs to find balance. And then here it says, that just stood out to me, share your good wishes with others so they may benefit from your energy. So that popped out to me. I'll be honest, this Three of Diamonds is feeling like it's going over here. I'm just feeling that, and I feel like I need to pull another conjure card for over here, and I don't even know what that Three of Diamonds is speaking to yet, but this is how I read tarot, y'all. It's totally in the moment. Like, I do the proper thing, and I follow spreads and everything too, but then there are times when I just need to follow my own instincts and my own intuition and just do what feels right in the moment, and that's the message that I need. All right. So I got this Five of Diamonds that I'm gonna put over here with the Star. And I don't know if that's like a little lizard or what, but I'm feeling better about that because now I'm feeling like this is gonna be the kind of the root of this reading. And then we'll have to see at the end, like, what does all of this mean? Ooh, Five of Diamonds. Okay, so it's the Hellbender Salamander. So in the little conjure cards, it comes with a little booklet, which is wonderful. It just gives you a nice little succinct message. It says, a totem of Appalachian folk magic, the Hellbender was used by conjure folk in the mountain for many conjurations, including that of love and marriage, which is why it foretells such. If the subject of the reading isn't relationship-based, it can also denote good luck. Okay, well, this is definitely not relationship-based, but it could be like the relationship to self. So it's a good luck omen. Foretells of love and marriage, maybe finding inner self, happiness with inner self. There is a reversed meaning here, but we're not using reversals today. I don't ever use reversals. Well, rarely. All right, so over here we have the 3 of diamonds with the quill, and it says the feather quill foretells that someone wishes to hear from you when paired with a king, queen, or jack. Nope. Alone, it signifies 3 pieces of good fortune, but warns against throwing your money away. When shown with the king of clubs, which we do not have, it denotes possible legal issues. This is such an interesting deck because it is so predictive. It's a very like mundane, like magical mundane, but like into the everyday. So this to me, now that I'm kind of seeing this together, we've got the fulfillment side of things over here, which is when you are kind of like following your true star, when I'm following my true path and I'm doing the things that make me happy, that bring me the most joy. This is so interesting because 5s I do not see as 5s are disruptive number for me. So if I were looking at this just strictly intuitively based on the numbers, this would signify some sort of disruption in this area of my life, which could also possibly be true, right? But this says it's particularly a card of good fortune. I think it is actually upside down. How funny is that? What did it say about the reversed? Maybe I should look. So reversed, it says the card shows a breakdown in love. Romance turned sour. Okay, well, that doesn't apply. So we're just gonna pretend I laid it right way. I don't read reversals anyway, so anytime I get a card that I laid down the wrong way on the table, I just flip it around. I don't read it as a reversal because that's just not how I work with tarot anymore. I did years and years ago, but I stopped doing that a long time ago. Okay, so back to this. It says it's a card of good fortune, but like honestly, I'm feeling like what it's really telling me is that the star is speaking to that long-term, deep ingrained fulfillment. But the 5 of diamonds over here is kind of what it's telling me intuitively is that there's a disruption here and I'm not quite getting to that fulfillment level yet. And over here I have the longing and the 10 of swords, which I'm seeing as like the need, the want, the thought that I need to do all the things all the time. This 3 of diamonds here, 3 for me is it's a growth number. So, 1 + 1 = 3, right? It's numerological math. And there's a pen. So this to me, what this is telling me on an intuitive level is like the longing is to like do all the things, be all the things, be the writer, be the content creator, be all the things all the time. And that like this is just a lot of energy to try to carry with me all the time. Like this is actually telling me is like, this is a warning that you think you want to do all this. This is the longing for being able to manage and to bring all of this stuff into alignment. But the reality is that what's happening here isn't actually feeding the star energy, isn't actually creating fulfillment. And maybe that's where the disruptive energy is coming from. So you can see here now I've gone completely off book, right? Because that's what I do. So I want to pull in, now that I've done all of that, because again, I'm feeling like I need a sort of wrap up. I'm feeling like I'm getting a good message out of here and I get what it's telling me. It's honestly like a message I've been getting a lot over the last couple of, let's be honest, probably months, but we'll say weeks. We'll be kind to me. We'll say weeks. This is the Southern Botanical Oracle. This is an indie deck. These are all mass market. And this deck I absolutely love. I do have the Poison Pack worked into this, which is an expansion for this deck. And so if one of those comes up, just we'll note that that comes from the expansion pack. I love this deck. I'm working with it a lot this month. So I'm feeling like this is a good one to pull into that sort of underneath space, because now I'm kind of like, okay, what do I do about this? This feels like this is telling me what is currently going on. I feel like I'm being pulled in these 2 directions, right? That's a wishbone energy for me, right? You take the wishbone and you pull it apart. And like, if I don't reconcile this, like I'm gonna snap. And that's probably true. Like, when you're in this sort of energy of like, you're trying to do all the things all the time, like it's really easy to find yourself in burnout at that point. And I feel like that is what this whole reading is kind of speaking to, which is a message I've been getting all month long. Like I said, if not longer, of just like, dude, slow your roll. Like you need to just take a step back. You need to find some focus and you need to find some balance, because you cannot do all the things all the time, regardless if you want to. Okay, so let's pull a Southern Botanical Oracle and see what we get as of what we need to do about it. So we've got the hairy vetch with reciprocity and trade-offs. So let's take a look in the guidebook. And now like there's 2 keywords and like there's a part of me that's like, ooh, we need to pull more cards to tap into those keywords. But let's look in the guidebook before we do that so that we see if we really do we need more cards, right? We don't always need more cards. Sometimes like deepening, layering, all that is fantastic, but there comes a point, I think in my personal experience, where then it just starts becoming like too much and and it starts becoming sort of like muddled. I get too many cards, too many messages, and then I lose focus of that central message that I was trying to find in the first place. I might have pulled a poisoned card because this one does not have a number on it, right? Is there a number? I don't see a number. Okay, yeah, this is, I think, a poison card. So it's not in the guidebook, which is cool. I mean, like we know, we can intuit what reciprocity and trade-off is speaking to. So even if I look at like the 2 sides of the reading here, so where the keyword's hitting on the card, so reciprocity could be this side of the reading and trade-offs could be this side of the reading, which again is just reaffirming that same message when I look at it through that lens of all of this trying to be all the things is what is creating this disruption here, and the trade-off is for that I'm getting, you know, I'm not completely stepped into this fulfillment energy of the star, right? I'm getting there's an interruption happening there. And so I could look at it that way as like, you know, this trying to do too much, trying to be too much, and I need to balance it. Reciprocity is also like sort of a balancing word, right? It's a give and take. And that's kind of what I'm feeling like this message is coming through is it's like, it's about balancing. It's about give and take. It's about not trying to do all the things, do some of the things, but also do the things that like help you get to that fulfillment, that sort of North Star energy, right? There is a balance point here. And the trade-off is that when you're trying to do too much of one thing, you're always going to be ignoring something else. So I think that's really interesting. Do I feel like I need more cards? And this is at the point in the reading where I kind of like, I want to take a minute and sit with it because I feel like I don't necessarily need more cards, but I am kind of feeling like I almost want, because this is feeling a little bit heavy, a little bit, it's feeling darker than I would normally experience with the zombie tarot, to be perfectly honest. The zombie tarot for me usually leans more into the sort of fun and lighthearted, and this is actually feeling quite heavy and into the dark. Also because like I got a poison plant too. So that kind of gives me that idea of that this kind of whole experience is like being poisoned by my attitude, maybe my mindset about what it is that I've got going on, right? So I feel like maybe I need something that's going to kind of step me out of that a little bit and maybe help me shift out of that sort of poison mindset where it's like trying to do all the things and ignoring some of the things that like actually matter, like in a grand scheme of things. So let me think for a minute about what might feel like it sits in that space. Might bring me a good energy to kind of step out of this reading with. Okay, so let's soften things up with the Woodland Wardens here because like, do I need to soften up every hard-hitting reading? No. Do I need to throw cards all over the table? Apparently I do. But sometimes I just feel like it's good to have a positive note to walk away with. That doesn't discount the sort of shadow that comes through the reading. It doesn't discount the message. It doesn't discount the energy. But what it does is it kind of just gives me a way to take that and transition that energy into sort of self-integration, right? In a way that's just a little bit more supportive. So sometimes I do need supportive energy. Sometimes I could sit with a hard-hitting message and be like, cool, yeah, I'm good. Let's do this. Let's walk away. And some days I'm like, nope, I'm feeling a little bit more tender than that. I've been getting this message all month long, longer than that probably, as I mentioned, and like I'm just kind of at the point where yeah, I know, dude, I'm trying my best. And so there's a point of like kind of frustration when you start getting repeating messages like this. You know, clearly when we keep getting messages like this, it's because we're not listening, right? We're not listening. And I get it, I am listening, but I'm also trying, right? So let's pull a Woodland Warden really quickly, just so we can see what our walkaway message is. transition message. And we got the trout with the lily of the valley and purification. I mean, I think that actually works really well. This is kind of telling me like, yep, let's kind of take a break. Let's take a moment. Let's purify our thought process and let's move on from there. Okay, so I like it. I feel like I have something that's a little bit more on the positive to walk away with this reading from, but also, again, it's a hard-hitting reading and there's a message here for me for sure. All right, so that is it for me today for my one-shot reading. I'll have to figure out what the name of it is when I get ready to upload this video. As always, you'll find links for everything I've shown here in the description box of this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.